Welcome to OnScreen Academic Writing with Steve Marshall. Lesson 5 is on sentence fragments. Sentence fragments are incomplete sentences that lack a key element. In formal academic writing, you should avoid sentence fragments. Here's a sentence fragment. Because there was a strike. This is a dependent clause. It's a dependent clause because it begins with a subordinator, because. You can study dependent clauses in OnScreen Academic Writing Lesson 1. To make the sentence fragment into a complete sentence, you can add an independent clause. The flight was delayed because there was a strike. Or, because there was a strike, the flight was delayed. The sentence fragment is now a complex sentence. If you'd like to study more on complex sentences, see OnScreen Academic Writing Lesson 2. Let's look at the form for 4 common types of sentence fragment. 1 is a dependent clause, although I studied hard. To make it a complete sentence, you need to add an independent clause. For example, although I studied hard, I didn't pass the course. Example 2 has a missing verb. We back home after the film. So, you need to add a verb. We went, came, or got back home after the film. Example 3 has a missing subject. Got back home at 10 p.m. So we need to add a subject. For example, we got back home at 10 p.m. Example 4 is missing a subject and a verb. Back home at 10 p.m. So you could correct it by adding the subject and verb. They went. They went back home at 10 p.m. For the task, identify the type of sentence fragment in each of the examples and give a number 1 to 4 as per list 1. Then correct the fragment by making it a complete sentence. So let's look at list 1. Type 1, a dependent clause. 2, a missing verb. 3, a missing subject. And 4, a missing subject and verb. A, went to the library yesterday is type 3, a missing subject. B, when I was at the library yesterday is type 1, a dependent clause. C, at the library yesterday, type 4, a missing subject and verb. And D, the library's so crowded yesterday, type 2, a missing verb. Let's make the corrections now. A has a missing verb, type 3, so you could correct it by saying we went to the library yesterday. B is type 1, a dependent clause. So you could correct it by adding an independent clause. When I was at the library yesterday, it was really busy. C is type 4. It has a missing subject and verb. So you could correct it by saying, I saw you at the library yesterday. And D is type 2, a missing verb. So the correction might be, the library was so crowded yesterday. Here's a summary of the lesson. Sentence fragments are sentences with a key element missing, a verb, subject or verb and subject, or dependent clauses written as complete sentences. In formal written communication, you should avoid sentence fragments. In informal language, sentence fragments are quite common. Let's summarize by seeing how we can change 3 informal sentence fragments to more formal complete sentences. First, back home. This might be a title on a photograph, but it has no subject or verb. The formal complete sentence would be, we're back home. Next, went to the concert, great time. This could be an online note to a friend. The formal complete sentences are, we went to the concert, we had a great time. And the third one, if you don't tidy your room, this could be a warning from a parent. The complete sentence might be, if you don't tidy your room, you're grounded. Thank you, that's all for now. The related videos are OnScreen Academic Writing, Lesson 1, Independent and Dependent Clauses, and Lesson 2, Types of Sentence, Simple, Compound and Complex. To see them, please click on the link.